Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Steam Prison, and we are getting to the end of Yune's route, and we might either get it in this part or the next one, to be honest. Because I was kind of doing the math in my head, and I had like 10 parts, 9 or 10 parts. 3 of those were the grand ending, and then we had at least 2 parts of doing all of his bad endings. We've already recorded 3 parts, so we might only have like 1 or 2 parts left. And we're a little bit, I think, ahead, like a few minutes here and there, like, of where we originally were, because I didn't inject as many thoughts, because I've already played this, you know? Still injected thoughts, but just not as many rambles. But also, I'm not sure if he had 2 or 3 parts of doing all the other endings. Because we've got 5 saves. So that's 5 other endings, plus 1 has 2 choices, so that's like 6 other endings, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 other endings. And I think originally when I did this, I was like, oh, that'll take like 3 parts, and it only took 2? Which everyone else's only took 2? So, I can't remember now. I feel like it was that way. Like, I thought it was going to take longer, and it took the same amount of time. Or now I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know. So, this part of the next one will probably actually get his ending. We only have, I think, 1 choice left. But, as you know, sometimes you can go an hour without having a choice, and sometimes you get 2 choices, like, in 5 minutes. So, I don't really remember, but we're wrapping it up. So, it's not as cumbersome as I thought when I was like, I gotta record 10 parts. It's actually nice because we'll get an ending. Cool. Then we've got a couple of parts just to do the other endings, so those kind of go fast, you know? And then you got the grand route ending, which took 3 hours to do. So, it's nice chunks. It's not as overwhelming as 10 hours to redo. So, cool. Anyway, let's just jump back in and see where we end up. Yune! That's right, we're in Yune's perspective, right?
Oh, Sakie, good. I wanted to talk to you. I think I finally have the answer I was looking for.
To what?
The question of how I can put an end to this. I think I have to love. Love will change me and cause my death.
Well,
You what?
Tell me. Tell me. I'm inside you to keep you alive. I protect you from anything that touches you, even death itself, because I love you. Creepy pervert fucking rock. If nothing can touch you, then you can never love. The love of anyone but me is poison to you. Do you mean to oppose that love? The love of the Stone of God? Is that what I paid? Yes, the love of anyone but me. This rock has some fucking, like, issues, is all I'm saying. I will keep you alive, now and forever. But renounce this foolish quest. Sakie, think about it. Accept my love and only mine, and you will live forever like the mountains.
Nah, I'll do this. I'll love her and put an end to this life. I'm not a rock. I'm a human being. I'm mortal, destined to die from the moment I was born, and I'll return to that mortality.
You ungrateful. All that awaits you is grief. Yune, you foolish child. Well, you ungrateful little... All that awaits you is grief. Crazy, angry, psycho bitch rock. Like, it's crazy. Dawn arrived. I'm not sure how to face him. I brought St. Yune his breakfast and groaned. What was I going to say? What expression was I going to make? How was I going to say it? I wondered whether it would be best to act like nothing had changed. Or perhaps not. Then how? I have no idea. I'd been thinking over breakfast in the mess hall as well, but I had no real answer. But I can't put it off on that account. Regardless of whether I was, in a complicated relationship with him, I was still his attendant. I had to bring him breakfast. All right, let's go. I told myself it would work out and knocked on his door. Good morning. I've brought your breakfast.
Good morning. I've been waiting. For the breakfast. I'm hungry. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I set the food on the table. Oh no. Why did I misunderstand him? I thought he'd been waiting for me, not the food. I was waiting for you as well. I missed you.
It's like playing it again, and I don't really remember. I'm sure I felt this way, but I don't remember if I said it. But it's a very fucking weird relationship with him. Like, again, I think I probably wouldn't feel this way or this kind of weird about it if I was like, I love him. Like, Elcrete. Elcrete can do no wrong, right? Because I fucking love him. And everybody else thinks he's creepy, and like, you're fucking wrong. But I'm sure there's some people, oh, I love Yune. First of all, it's because he's the lolly boy, you know? He's only 2 years younger than us, and he's 400 fucking years old, so like, but he's just got that, no, it's a no for me, dog, right? But this whole thing is fucking weird. Like, it's not like I dislike his character, like, oh, I hate him. But it just feels a little icky because it's like, oh, I'm waiting for you. I'm totally in love with you. You just decided to be in love with me, and then we're going to be in love, and like, within like, and I knew every other one was like this, like, but you're getting to know each other, you're falling, and then you realize you love them. But this is like, we're going to fall in love. Okay, now we're in love, and okay, just so he can die. I don't know, there's something about it that just tastes funny to me. Like, you're like, normally this is something I enjoy, but it tastes weird. Like, that's just how I get. It's just, I don't know. It just makes me feel slightly wrong. Like, and again, I could just be like me being tainted because not a fan of the lolly boys and like kind of don't ever want to go down their route, so I already have a distaste for them to begin with, where it's making me feel that way, where if it was a character that was not the lolly boy and one that I actually was like, yeah, I like him, I might be like, it's a little weird, but it's okay. You know what I mean? It's strange, but I don't know. Anyway.
Look, you spilled that. Are you alright?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'll bring a new...
I know it's alright. Just wipe it off later. Come on, sit down.
St. Yune gestured toward the sofa in front of him, like we're being forced to be in love with it. Sure, she then goes, no, I'm totally in love with him. But are you really? It's like saying you absolutely loved being in a cage that Toma put you in. This is way better, but like, still weird. You know, I don't know. I had no reason to say no and sat down timidly. St. Yune dug into his breakfast, just the same as any other morning. But I was restless.
Where does an attendant eat? Eat. I was just thinking I never really saw you eat anything.
Next to the kitchen is a mess hall for temple employees. We eat there. I asked if he hadn't known that. St. Yune nodded, his mouth full of bread.
Sometimes I was wondering when you and the others eat, but I never cared enough to find out. I don't have a large interest in others, and they pass through my life. If I care about them, it just hurts me in the end.
Like, it sounds funny when he's like, I don't care about other people. You're like, wow. And then he goes on, you're like, I mean, it makes sense. Because, like, everyone's just going to die around me, so what's the point of me caring about people because it hurt? So it sounds, like, callous and douchey when he says it. You're like, oh, yay, our boyfriend, ladies and gentlemen. But it makes absolute fucking sense. Like, we'd all do the same thing. Like, I got used to people, like, dropping dead on account of me. So, what are you doing? You being friends? You better be being friends. Don't be being mean. Oh, he's getting all weird. Birds are bizarre. Anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, you'd start, everyone would slowly die around you, and you'd just eventually be like, nope, don't care about anyone, no fucks given. Like, because they're all gonna die and it hurts you. So, it sounds callous, but it's like 400 years of, yeah, get it, understandable. Anyway.
But you're different. Bring your own food as well next time.
My own?
Yes. Eating together seems like something couples do.
Couples?
Did you forget what we agreed to yesterday?
We're a couple now. But it's also very odd, too, because then he's like, oh, now I'm going to care about you. I mean, he slowly has over time. I mean, I'm sure that's the way. But it just seems... that also makes it feel weird. Like, you don't give a fuck about anybody, but now you give a fuck about me? I know that, again, over the last week or two that we've spent with him, he does. Because we're we treat him differently than everyone else. Everyone's like, oh, great Yune, bow at your worship. And we're like, I mean, if you're being a dumb fuck and you want to go to the depths, I guess I have to go with you, right? Like, our sense of duty makes us treat him differently, which is weird. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird scenario, but so I kind of understand him being like, you're different than other people, so I might care a little bit. And then that's, so I get it, but at the same time, it's still weird. I don't know. There's just something about it that makes me feel. It's not. I don't know how to describe it. It's not. I don't hate it, but I don't actually believe it either. There's something about this whole route that I just feel like the other ones, I can't quite recall back, but it's like, yeah, we spent a lot of time with Adage. We spent a lot of time with Inez. We kind of sort of fell for them. And this is more like, you're going to fall in love with me. And we're like, okay. And then we're in love with you. And it just, I don't know. It just doesn't, I get where they're going with it. And it's like, it's fine. But it's also like, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally. It doesn't resonate with me where I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's like, yeah, what? I don't, And again, it could just be because he's the lolly boy, and if he was anybody else, I'd be like, all right, sure, but I don't know. For this being like the last route, it's like, I don't dislike Yune, but it's like, I also just kind of did we need this one at all? Like, I don't know. I don't enjoy it that much. Again, I don't dislike it, but I don't like, oh, I love it so much! It's like, I feel nothing for it. So, and doing it a second time doesn't make it any better. I'm still like, yeah, no. I think I like it less the second time around. Like, it's fun to read. I don't feel like, oh my god, I gotta slog through this shit. It's like, it's fine. I have no problem reading because I like this game overall. But I don't think, I feel nothing for him. Aside from like, okay, like, I feel bad for all the shit that you've been through. And like, you got this creepy magical rock controlling you, which is just weird. And like, I feel for him and the shit that he's dealt with, because that's gotta suck. Like, you're alive forever and everybody around you dies, and like, and you just, I just don't want to do this anymore. I get you, I feel you. And I know some of the other endings in my head. It's like, okay, and the endings give you the feels, but like, through the whole pad, I'm not like, I'm so glad we're falling in love with him. I'm like, we just flipped a switch and we were like, we're in love with you. It's not really, Stockholm Syndrome? Like, are we what's happening here? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't resonate with me, so I feel like this is odd. Okay. And I guess I feel bad about that because it's like the last route and I think I'm supposed to care a lot more than I do. But like, we're being coerced into this, and it's just fucking weird. I don't know. Anyway, but then again, everybody loves Finn, and I'm like, fuck Finn. Like, fuck him. No. Like, I don't even know what's gonna happen when that route comes out. Like, anyway. I remember, but I mumbled a little, desperately trying to lay out my next sentence. I'm not sure what I need to do now. Even talking about it is uncomfortable. I just behave like normal, obviously. Trying to do everything consciously will just wear you out. Like normal? Yes, like you always are. And love me for the person I normally am. It's easy. Okay, sure, crazy pants. Whether it's easy or not, that does help me a little. He was right. Trying to be conscious of every little thing would lead to me forgetting to breathe. Our relationship was part of a larger ploy to allow Saint Yune to die. It wasn't a long-term relationship. I mean, okay. Whatever you gotta tell yourself. All the more reason why it would be nice if I could really open up to Saint Yune. Open up to Saint Yune. The deeper possible implications of that made me embarrassed and my face felt hot. Oh, what's wrong? You're really red in the face. Having fun with your imagination. No? Really? I would have liked you imagining things like us hugging or kissing. I think she was imagining other things and that's what made her embarrassed. And she's like, oh, well, that's way less embarrassing. What kind of reaction is that? We're a couple now. Couples do that sort of thing. And then again, those things might just kill you, so we can't do it. But we can do it all you want in your imagination. All I want, huh? The thought of imagining us doing those things crossed my mind, but I vigorously shook my head. Saint Yune, why are you so well informed about all this?
You think I lived all this time without talking to anyone? Besides, when I was still living on the surface, everyone had a relationship.
Really?
Yeah, there were no laws to control the population there. I wasn't able to have one, though. I had the surgery when I was about 16 and was focused more on my research than on romance. And now the people love my immortality, but at the time everyone thought it was creepy that I didn't change. I lost most social contacts. But I stayed close to Arsenclimb and saw him in his relationship, and when he married, I know what's supposed to happen. So you can just hand the reins to me, alright?
Yes.
Nope, you need Smile. Again.
Yes! And again, he's like, smile! Yay! Smiling, totally agreeing with this while She's not like, yeah, no, okay, because I like hanging around with you. She's doing this because he told her to. So it's just... And also, we're at the end of the route. So, at the end of the route, you're going to... The fuck is your problem, Bert? Chill out. You're fine. But, you're at the end of the route, and then, in an hour, we're gonna magically fall... It feels forced. It's like... If we were slowly kind of feeling for him, and he was, in a relationship, and we were like, but that's wrong! But I really do get along with him, and I really do like him, and we thought about it, and it felt natural, but it just feels very forced from her perspective. Him, I feel like it's more natural because he's now forcing a relationship, but it occurred to him that, oh, it hurts my chest when I think about her, so maybe I'm falling in love. Hey, we should try this. I get it from his perspective, but from ours, it's like, what? No, it's not, no, whoa, laws. Where then we stop and analyze it and go, actually, though, I really do enjoy spending time with him. And oh my God, wait, where she's having this, my feelings say one thing, but my brain says something else. Every part of her is like, this is weird and wrong, and yay, I'm forcing myself, and I do not know what I am doing. So it's just fucking weird. I don't know, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. It's very forced and it's not natural. And it's not just, well, it feels rushed, oh, we've only known each other a month. It's it's just we go from I don't know if we should do this, and it's against the law, and then bam, in love? The fuck? I don't know. I suppose I'm supposed to think that maybe, she's cared about him the whole time, and him, realizes her feelings, but this moment right here, she's like, awkward, really, we're in a relationship, I don't know how to do this, and I guess I'm just trying to help him die. And then 2 days later, she's like, I'm fucking in love with him and I can't live without him. That's some kind of fucking powerful drugs you took, because it doesn't feel right at all to me, and I don't know. Anyway.
Yes, good.
Saint Yune suddenly dropped his fork. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. My chest hurt. I see. You just have to smile. I have to make you happy.
Saint Yune...
I don't look like that. I'm happy. Smile.
You can't smile when someone is suffering.
I see. That's too bad. And then I'll try to look like I'm not suffering when you're around.
Saint Yune began to excitedly resume his breakfast. What a weird conversation. I assumed a relationship like ours was meant to be a stepping stone towards marriage, but ours was a stepping stone towards Saint Yune's death. You could argue that it was a hollow relationship, but when I thought about Saint Yune being gone at some point in the future, it made me sad. And see, again, this is more it's sad because he's a human being and you care about him and he's your sovereign and whatever. And if we had started this more in the beginning of the route and he's like, hey, talking to you makes me hurt, or maybe it was even more the middle instead of the fucking end, I would find it a little more believable that she's like, okay, we're pretending to be in love, and I'm in love, and we spend time, and I do things to make you happy, and we do and then, oh, you know what, I actually enjoy this. Wait, shit, I've fallen in love with you. I would understand that, but it just, I don't know, it just comes too fast in the end. It's we spent this whole entire time, and then he's like, hey, we should be in love because that hurts my heart. And then she's like, ha, and then magically it smiled once at you, and now I'm in love with you. It's not believable to me, and it, I don't know. I just feel like they did it wrong. And it's only aggravating me now because, like, now is the last, like, hour or two of his route. And it's like, oh, we're magically in love now. Because it's not even, I mean, I guess it's because of the time. Maybe it's supposed to be a couple of weeks or something. But it's like, in every other route, we spend time with them. And, oh, it's over this period that I realized I was in love with him. If he started out with, like, it happened a little bit sooner in his route, I might find it more believable. Or, and I guess because there's no point in his route where they're like, several weeks later, you know what I mean? He only gave us a month. So we've been working for him for like a week, maybe two. So like 2 weeks, you magically I mean, sure, I guess you're with him all the time, but it's not even, I don't know. I just don't, it feels wrong. Like, I don't know. Like, I needed to specifically tell me, like, it's only been a week, and now 2 weeks later, or 3 weeks later, oh, okay, you've been doing this for weeks. And I suppose I'm supposed to assume that, but it just doesn't feel that way, and it just feels unbelievable and, like, bullshit. And I don't know. Just, It's just, Like,
In the afternoon, I attended a session of aristocrats in the assembly. And that is, I was physically present. All I had to do was be there. The men were debating whether or not some laws needed to be changed. I, meanwhile, thought about my death. What is it about Spacey being happy? The source of my chest pain was linked to Spacey. I knew that. The extent of the pain was also influenced by what she was doing. If she smiled or blushed, then that looked attractive to me and strained my heart. I feel sorry for Sakie now, but... I touched my chest to feel my pulse. I was only alive because of Sakie. That said, it didn't surprise me when Sakie had said it loved me. I was very grateful to it for keeping me alive. But I made up my mind. I need to escape from Sakie. I will love Spacey, and I will die. That's the end I hoped for. The problem is how we're going to do that. What's the most efficient way of being in a relationship? I can't touch her. The crime, I suppose. The murder of her parents. If her name was cleared and she was pronounced innocent, that would surely make her extremely happy. Oh, a break. Good. I told Spacey to stay at my chair and walked over to Warner.
I'm honored that you've come to meet me, Your Holiness. I'd have come to you immediately had you told me, ass-kisser.
It's alright. I need the exercise, and you need to get your fucking face out of my asshole.
I mean, he's brown-nosing so fucking hard, his whole head's up there, Jesus.
I grinned, explaining that the inaction was wearing on me as I approached. How's the Testella family case going?
Nothing new so far. It was fully processed, so opening a new investigation takes time.
And then I'll ask someone else to do it.
Why?
You're the speaker. You're probably too busy to handle it. I'll ask someone who's got more time on his hands.
But the case was closed long ago. Long ago. A couple of weeks? Or, like, we had a month. So at most, it was closed a month ago. But probably not. So, you know, our love story is at least a week, say. 3 weeks. You got max a month a long time ago. That's not that long ago. Jesus, you're full of shit. I don't think any information should leave the inner circle.
And then take care of it soon, all right?
Yes.
Warner bowed and left immediately. I hope this speeds it up a little. I trusted Warner, but due to his position, he was a busy man.
You probably shouldn't.
Compared to his other duties, the investigation of an old murder case was not very important.
Old murder case. Several weeks ago. It's not like my parents were murdered 10 years ago. Old murder case. Couple of weeks? I mean, yeah, there's probably not new evidence a couple of weeks, but it takes longer than 2 days to solve a fucking murder usually, so I'm just saying.
And that's why I wanted to have someone else do it, but I'll give him another chance.
It's like fucking crazy. Sometimes the timelines in these games are so fucked up. Like, you remember the other day? 6 months ago? Like, it's either that, it's like 6 months later. The other day when we were talking, oh yeah, I remember that. Again, that happened 6 months ago. Or this, an old murder case 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago is old, but 6 months ago is the other day. That's just a gripe on all Otome games. It's so fucking weird. The other day is like, remember the other day when we were talking, like, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, not a year ago. Remember the other day when this happened? You mean when we were 8? Yes. So, like, decades ago. Uh-huh. Yeah, the other day. I mean, it was the other day, not today, but, like, it's still, like, that implies a shorter span of time, but, okay.
St. Yune is late. After attending the assembly session, St. Yune had gone to the medical room for a regular checkup. What you doing, crazy birds? Flying all over the place. We were supposed to meet each other in the chapel, but he hadn't arrived yet. I looked at the clock on the wall inside. It's evening already. What's keeping him? I remembered how he had complained of chest pains in the morning. I hope he isn't seriously ill and I simply wasn't told. I should check. I stood up, unable to wait any longer. I'm sorry, that took too long. St. Yune. Some nobles chatted me up on the way, and I had a hard time shaking them off. St. Yune came over to me, removed his cap, and sat down. I sat down as well. I'm relieved that you're all right. I'm immortal. Of course I'm all right. And now then, let's talk about love.
Are you serious?
Of course. I told you earlier today that we have a clandestine meeting in the chapel. We'd have a clandestine meeting in the chapel.
You did, and I remember, but what if someone comes?
I'm the only one who uses the chapel this time of day. Hardly anyone ever comes.
But you're not certain.
Isn't the thrill of it exciting?
No? What would you do if they found out?
The saint would have his fair share of trouble, but I don't care personally.
St. Yune gave me a mischievous grin, leaned back and looked at the ceiling.
Back on the ground, men and women used to talk to be more comfortable with each other. And then eventually they fell in love. One of them confessed their love to the other, and they became a couple.
Like this. One of them confessed their love to the other. I want to be in a relationship with you. And then they were a couple. The other person didn't have a choice. I know that's not what he's saying, but it just kind of sounds funny when he's like, so people talked, like we're talking. One of them said that they love. So me, we're going to be in a relationship, and now you just have to agree. That's how it works. Again, I know that's not what he's saying, but that's kind of what's happening here, so it's kind of funny, actually.
By the way, it was Arsenclime who confessed to her. He was a brave man. And after some more time passes, one of them proposes marriage to the other. Then they finally get married if the other agrees.
This time you at least have a choice in getting married. You become a couple once one person tells you they love you. That's it. That sounds quite elaborate. St. Yune looked at me questioningly. We're like, that sounds complicated. I'd rather someone just tell me what to do. There are too many steps. It sounds difficult to do. Besides, what happens if you fall in love and confess, but the other person doesn't feel the same way?
Well, then you use your saintly status and tell them they have to fall in love with you because it's an order.
You're just turned down. What's the punishment?
Punishment? It's love. You can love whoever you want.
I see. What happens when you're turned down?
You stay friends, or you become estranged. It depends on how it goes.
That sounds pretty scary. Could never do that.
What are you talking about? We don't have to worry about that. You have me and I have you. We're already a couple.
Yes. My heart skipped a beat when he stared at me. I felt pain, but not a hard pain like that of an injury. It was a soft, sweet pain. Like, again, 2 days ago you decided we're going to be in love and now I'm feeling love for you. It's kind of just, I don't know. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel natural and it feels forced and it's just like they kind of like, his whole route had a bunch of other stuff, an interesting plot, and then they were like, oh yeah, well fuck, we forgot the romance. It's like you forgot, I don't know, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It just tastes weird. This pain must be love. Oh, magic.
You're blushing. It's cute.
St. Yune reached for my cheek. However, he didn't touch it. His slender fingers remained suspended in the air. Right, he's afraid that would harm me. He'd said that he would take charge, but I had an inkling that that probably wasn't the best idea. Two people in a relationship probably have to meet each other in the middle. I reached out.
Oh. My father often did this when I was small. Are you treating me like a child? Hey, if you hurt me, then you'll be injured and you might even die. Aren't you afraid of that?
I am. One of us is going to die one way or the other, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's sweet moments like this, like oh, we're just touching his face and it's beautiful. But I feel nothing. I should feel more. I mean, yeah, sweet moments like, oh, it's a sweet moment. But the love feels like bullshit. Like, so.
It's tainted.
Tainted with an awkward taste. Anyway. St. Yune smiled. I saw pain in it. Does your chest hurt?
I'm an abomination now. It's been a really long time since someone touched me like this. I forgot how it felt when someone truly accepts you. I missed it. My chest is pulsing so much. I can feel my false heart creaking from the pressure.
St. Yune,
don't stop. I want to feel more of this pain. It might sound strange, but I like it. I feel human again. Alive. And that must sound so stupid knowing that I'm trying to die. Hey, Spacey, do you love me? Answer me now. And tell me you love me. I love you, Spacey. You're stubborn, earnest, harsh, and really cute.
I'm not sure how positive that sounds.
I like all of that. Don't worry. Now what is it? What's your answer?
I love you. Again, it's been like 2 days.
Took too long. Oh well, I'll let it slide.
Like, don't we feel weird? Like, I love you. And you're like, but I really don't, because it's only been 2 days. Like, it just... Again, I know it's supposed to be like oh, we've actually cared about him the whole time and we're just realizing it, but she didn't have any inkling when he did the relationship, and she was like, I'm kind of okay with it. Wait, I don't understand. It was just like, no, this is wrong, but okay, I'll help him die. And then it's like, oh my god, I love him. It just, I don't know. I guess it's just the way it's written. Just, I feel for him, though, because, like, everything he's going through is like, oh, it's kind of touching. Like, you're trying to die and you feel like an abomination. And, like, I get that, but the romance in this is just forced fake, and I just don't buy it. So,
I don't know how long my body will last, how long I'll be able to love you. You shall have my feelings, as meager an offering as that is, but you must give me your heart.
That's what it is. He's just fucking after my organs.
Love me until I die.
I mean, like, that's sad. Like, that gets more of feels than the romance is like, they just love me until I die. You're like, it's kind of painful. Like, I get that. You know? A few days later,
what kind of important session could it be?
St. Yune was in an unusually bad mood. He was grumbling, but eating his breakfast heartily.
Curse the delegates. Who do they think they are, summoning me so early in the morning?
I think they only want you to attend because it's important. Please attend. That was our last choice, so... What you doing, birds?
Please attend. Are you thinking I might skip? I'm still the saint, even if I'm not a good one. I show up when I have to.
Then please don't complain.
I can complain to you because it's you. It means I trust you. And they asked me to go alone, so you have that time to yourself. Let's meet somewhere afterwards.
Where could we meet? How about the chapel?
That's good. I love how that place calms me down. But I love you even more than that.
St. Yune?
It's alright. It's the same pain as always. This always happens when I try to show off. It's a bit annoying.
It's because the Rock is mad. You're pissing off your Rock girlfriend. He looked at the mirror, donned his hat, and adjusted his clothes.
I'll make it through the session knowing that you're waiting for me. Bye.
Goodbye. See you later. Maybe. Dun dun dun! Getting to the crux of this. Is he going to be okay? Maybe not. Spoiler alert, right? St. Yune's chest pain was growing worse, which was intentional, of course. I also think that he's eating less, but I'm not sure. Perhaps this was a good development given our ultimate goal, but I didn't feel good looking at it. It must be painful. I sighed and looked toward the balcony. Yeah, but it's weird because, like, physically painful, but it's a good pain. You know what I mean? Like, So it's like, it is kind of like we're killing him, but we're loving him. I put air quotes around that because, like, I don't feel it, but, like, we're pretending to love him, or sure, she quote-unquote does, but I don't believe it. I feel like it's bullshit, but... And so he's happy, but in pain. It's a weird thing to be in, and it's like a bittersweet kind of thing, so... The sky was clear and blue. It was a wonderful day. I guess I'll take a walk. I suppose I'll go into town and buy candy. St. Eunie's mood was bound to improve upon seeing a mountain of candy. He'd be upset at me for treating him like a child. This fuck, I forgot. I knew where this part was going because I remember it. And, like, earlier in one of the other parts, I remembered this fuck, right? And I remembered this. And then, but it's really weird because we're going to go buy him candy. And I'm like, I don't remember us buying him candy, did we? And then this fuck shut up and was like, oh yeah, forgot about you. Blocked you out. Hey, Spacey, there you are. I don't have a voice for him, so he's kind of almost got the fin voice. Whatever. Lord Fitzgerald, a long time no see. I stopped and bowed. Really has been a while. This fucking ass. The last time I'd met him, I'd still been a police officer. That reminds me, I still don't know why the engagement was called off. I said to my mother back then that I would look into it, but I was never interested in the engagement. Now that my parents are gone, there's no need to look into it. I raised my head again. Is there anything you need? Yes, we can't talk about it here, though. Shady son of a bitch. Lord Fitzgerald looked around and whispered into my ear, We found your parents' murderer. Really? Yes, we're certain, but we can't talk about it here. We need to move to a more private location. Let's go to the chapel and talk there. Gladly. The killer has been found. Finally, the truth was going to be laid bare. And what happens then? What was going to happen to St. Eunie's and my agreement? What about a relationship? Were we going to abandon that plan? What is it? Let's go. Yes. First, I need to get the murders cleared up. Then I can worry about St. Eunie. Who had killed my parents and subjected me to so much injustice? Nervously, I followed Lord Fitzgerald. Good, there's nobody here. Lord Fitzgerald walked to the center and turned around towards me. I walked up to him and stopped. Lord Fitzgerald? Who's the murderer? Who killed my parents? Do you remember this knife? Lord Fitzgerald held me by the shoulder and plunged the knife into my stomach. Smiling, he whispered into my ear, I killed your parents myself. But why? I don't know, honestly. We're both just pawns. Pawns? Lord Fitzgerald nodded and pushed me away. Bye-bye, poor Spacey. No, but he... Lord Fitzgerald! Why? Why? What could this important session be about? I'd been the sovereign for 400 years. They had happened before. One time a virus outbreak had affected the farms. Another time there had been a problem with the population control. My presence was only required during times of emergency. But these things are fairly rare. They generally happen once every 20 years or so. I'm going to have to remember, and I'm saying this out loud so that it clicks in my brain, that this kind of part of the ending, I'm not sure if it changed or not during some of the bad endings, but I have to remember to kind of like click through manually, or we're going to have to read. So our ending parts, doing the other endings might take longer than they normally do, just because, like I said, I've already played it, so if I auto skip, it's going to skip shit that you haven't seen, but I'm not going to remember, you know what I mean? So you have to be real careful about that. So anyway. Most matters of state didn't require my opinion, and the others took care of it. I hope this is nothing serious. I waited for the assembly to go into session. Well then, I'll open this emergency session now. Tension immediately rose in the room. I could tell from their tense reaction that nothing good was about to be discussed. topic today is His Holiness. Dun dun dun. His betrayal of us.
Betrayal?
Yes, you are our saint, our sovereign, and yet you've fallen in love with that woman. You're the priest. We need your benevolence and nobility, but you've given yourself to this foolish romance. It's a betrayal of the people. Besides, love outside of the partner assigned to you is a grave crime in our country. The assembly chooses to indict you.
Indict, huh? I was faced with a serious situation, but due to either my personality or my age, I felt pretty calm. Lord Warner seems rather proud of himself, but I expected this to happen. I was a rational, scientific man who looked at the world as numerical patterns. Nothing ever succeeded 100% of the time, and nothing ever failed 100% of the time. Even in the best system, something eventually fails and breaks down, and even the worst system produces good results sometimes. I didn't expect this to stay a secret forever. If anything, I'm surprised it took so long. Besides, we're in a relationship, but it's not like we've done much yet, and yet Warner is making a big deal out of this.
What's so funny?
Oh, it's just funny that you guys are much more human than I am, biologically, and yet you're the ones trying to deny love.
Are you admitting to your crime?
Sure. If you wish to call this feeling a sin, then I'll admit to it. The men criticized me, their gaze full of anger and pity. I had no allies there, but something gave me comfort. The cage was unlocked. I could take flight and leave. Now, Yune Sakie, you'll be more human than anybody here. This is a good opportunity to teach you something. Love is the basis for humanity. Love is the basis of our feelings, deeds, and the foundation of society. And that includes this country here, of which you're the chief administrators. But in this country, love is regulated and sometimes punished as a crime. When this country was founded after the flood by me and your ancestors, we introduced the first laws in a great hurry. The first law was population control. We needed friends with which to build this country. We needed to guarantee we would multiply. We couldn't guarantee that the population would grow as it needed if we left romance, marriage, and childbirth up to the people.
Which I think is extremely funny because most people, population control is to stop people from overpopulating because people hump like rabbits. And I'm just going to guess your birth control is probably antiquated, and we can't leave it to people fucking on their own because human beings naturally fuck on their own. Like, what are the jokes about society, right? Oh, well, there was a blackout, so there's going to be a fuck ton of babies born because nobody had anything to do but fuck, and a bunch of people got pregnant. Like, it's going to be a lot of COVID babies because we're in quarantine. What the fuck are we going to do? I guess we'll have sex, and then it's going to be a fuck ton of accidental pregnancy. Like, people can't be trusted to not keep their shit in their pants. And yet, in this world, it's like, we couldn't trust people to just go out and fuck each other. Really? Really? I don't think you understand how human beings work. Which is just weird. We had to tell people they had to have sex. It's so backwards. It's like, I'm pretty sure population control would actually be, we needed to tell people they could only procreate when we decided because there's not enough room on this fucking plate in the sky and too many fucking babies. You have 7 kids. Could you put a cork in it? Like, you know. And yet, meanwhile, like, we had to force people to have sex and have babies to make sure that we populated. It's just so backwards. It's kind of hilarious, actually, but, I mean, there's no other way for them to write this to make the society look completely fucking batshit insane and like love is outlawed. You know what I mean? Without doing it this way, but it kind of makes no fucking sense. So it's funny.
Our young state needed strong and immediate growth, we thought. And so we outlawed unregulated romance and gave the state power over family matters. The government paired up men and women to procreate like cattle. Again, we'd have been procreating like fucking bunnies left to our own devices, is all I'm saying. You just slowed the progress down. The pairings emphasized efficiency and ignored the feelings of the individual. And nobody opposed the inhumanity in this law because we knew that our young state needed to grow. Now, centuries later, we still have this ancient law shackling the people, and they accept it.
I could understand if they kind of wrote it as, well, we decided that we weren't going to let people just procreate how they wanted. We were going to be like genetically, you know what I mean? Like sometimes in movies about the future and it's this weird society and it's like, oh, we have to be like, you two are a genetic match and you'll make smart babe. And like they do some like kind of weird scientific-y, futuristic-y like, you know, stuff. As opposed to just like, yeah, anybody fuck whoever you want, have babies with whoever you want, nobody gives a shit. And then they're like, you know what I mean? Like I can understand if they kind of went in that direction, like, but this direction is like, we can't trust people to fuck like rabbits, so we're going to have to force them to breed like cattle. Yeah, but people would have been breeding like bunnies. So you slowed it down, frankly. Like, your logic is flawed. Unless you had a bunch of asexuals up there and they were like, oh, we have to, okay, I mean, ew. Like, just, if you have a handful of normal people, you're going to be fine. Because in this society, you're going to have the people who are normal and probably fucking for funsies. You're going to have a handful of people who are like, I just don't want to at all. Okay, fine. And then you have the people who are like, I had sex 5 minutes ago, but I need it again. Because they're going to literally fuck everything. You would not have had a problem. Population control would have literally been, we've got to stop people from having babies. You should have just let it naturally happen. All I'm saying. It's fucking hilarious.
Our technology is advanced, and I question the necessity of this law. As I said before, it's love which makes us human. I'm not trying to avoid my punishment. I was one of those who made this evil law, and I allowed it to exist until now. I need to pay the price for that. And out of my love for you, I'll forgive your punishment of me for love. I'll accept whatever fate you assign me.
The sane insist upon espousing the criminal ideology of love. I suppose abominations must remain abominations. Now we know what he really thinks. There's his bitch brows. No! You're no longer a saint! You're a criminal! The greatest of them all!
Yes, I'm not a saint. They made me a saint because the country needed it. It's a sham. I ask that you make me the last person to be punished for their love. And thanks for everything. Goodbye.
He's like, woo, woo, woo. They're like, you're gonna be punished! And he's like, sweet! I think the best part of that is Warner is pissed off, like, yeah, oh, we're gonna, and he's like, and Yune's like, all right. And Warner's like, I wanted you to be mad about that. Like, I think that's the biggest fuck you to Warner Evans, is basically being like, okay, not mad about this at all. Cool. This is like the best part. Like, you basically just gave Yune what he wants. And like, I don't think Warner expected that. And I think that's going to piss him off more. It's kind of fun. Yune Sakie, for the crimes of unsanctioned love, we sentence you to exile in the depths.
The gears were set in motion as soon as my guilt was decided. I was sent to the depths within the day. I was alone in the lift as a form of punishment. That seemed rather cruel to me, but I didn't object. For centuries I had lived in the heights, only to be evicted unceremoniously. The lift seemed unusually large with only me in it. I wasn't sure why that was at first, but then I understood. Spacey, you're not here with me. I said her name, but as expected, nothing happened. I wonder what happened to her. I was being punished. Perhaps she was being punished as well.
It's kind of funny, though, that you claim to love me, and you're getting sentenced for loving me, and you're like, so what did you do with Spacey, by the way? Are we going down together? You didn't even bother to ask. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, wonder what happened to her. It just... this just adds to that distaste.
I didn't do right by her, huh? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I tried to use her, thinking she was a murderer. I thought that she was just going to die anyway if she was sent to the depths.
No, I thrive down in the depths, thank you very much.
And if she couldn't manage to kill me, then a miracle would have killed her with nobody to weep for her. Or so I thought. Oh man, why is it that I can cry now of all times? I had no mirror, nothing to see myself in, but I could feel tears running down my cheeks. They were warm, and no amount of wiping them away could make it stop. I cried so much that I had to wonder whether my mind had broken down.
What you doing, Bird? What's going on? You're fucking being crazy right now.
Even when I had to part with Arson Climb, I didn't cry. I couldn't cry. I thought that feelings like that had disappeared after becoming immortal. My chest hurts. It's hard to breathe. Every beat was accompanied by a stabbing pain that shook my body. I wanted to die, would have accepted it, but my body refused it. It clung to life. I thought I'd be able to die if I just fell in love, so that's what I did, but the plan failed and I'm still alive. But I still love you. What now? I should have done so much more for you. I want to see you smile. I want you to be happy. And yet, I ruined your future with what I did. All I thought about was becoming human. I'm so sorry, Spacey. Yune, you foolish child. Sakie, wow, didn't think I'd see you again. Why? Because I refused your love, Sakie. You saved me and I pushed you away. I thought you'd turn your back on me. He's like, I was really hoping it, but you're like a fucking stage 5 clinger. She's also living in your chest, but... My love doesn't expire so easily. I am inside you. I am still, for now, with you. But... Are you leaving? Yes. The more you think about her, the smaller my territory in your heart becomes. My strength weakens, and eventually I will disappear. I see. And then I can finally die. Does that make you happy? Yes, very. But I'll miss being in love. So there's that. Yeah, you'll be dead, but so you won't know the difference. I don't like that I'll die without knowing what happened to her. I know it's selfish. I blackmailed her into killing me, and now I'm worried what happened to her. I'm older than anybody, and yet I'm such a child. Yes, but that's what it means to be human. Human? Yes. It's that ever-changing, beautiful spark which I will never understand as an ever-constant stone. You too are ultimately human, trying to return to the place you must. And I was a fool for loving a human. I don't know how long we will stay together, but I pray that you will be happy until you die, and thereafter. Thank you, Sakie. It's like maybe your crazy ex-girlfriend is finally accepting that you don't love her and she'll stop showing up at your fucking house. But probably not, because she lives in your chest. It's weird. By the time the lift arrived in the depths, my tears had dried. My throat, my head, my entire body hurt, but I was alive. Nobody had told me to come out, but I staggered towards the door like a puppet. Sasha was waiting alone at the station. He seemed a little confused, unsure how he was going to treat me. And the journey was long. You must be tired. Yep. For the time being, I'll put you into a cell at our headquarters and require time to consider what to do with you. Do as you like. I'm no longer a saint. Treat me like you treat the others. Like a criminal. Sasha's like, yeah, I just somehow feel like, yeah, but then I'm gonna die because I abuse the others and I can't abuse you. It's a really hard place to put Sasha in. Kind of need Sasha's perspective on that for a minute. Like, do as I do to the others. I normally beat them and torture them. But if I touch them, I'm still gonna die. So I can't. This puts a damper on my festivities. Like, hey, isn't that Saint Unate? Oh my! So the rumors that he committed a crime were true! On the way to the headquarters of the Hounds, people began to gather around us. It all happened earlier today. Rumors spread so fast. I mean, seriously, how? I mean, they have to get it from the Hounds, because, like, I'm assuming the people in the Heights would tell the people in the Depths, hey, we're sending a criminal down, blah, 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 and then it gets out. Because how the fuck would these fuckers know? Like, they're living in a shanty town, like, and they're treated like garbage, like... So they must hear it from the Hounds, or like someone in the Hounds tells someone, oh, it's like a phone tree, you know? I looked up at the orange sky and saw the Heights. I felt a longing even though I knew that I would never return. What you doing, Chatterbox? Committed a crime? What? So was he even really a saint then? So was he, like, conning us or something? Hey, don't throw stones, you'll get hurt! Yes, she's right. You shouldn't throw that stone if you don't want to get hurt. I wasn't in any mood to warn him, though. You serious? He's a criminal now. I'll feel a lot better after this. No, you won't. That's such a dumb idea. Oh, right, I forgot. The stone struck me on the cheek. It hurt a fair amount. Pain? He touched the spot it had struck. Kind of forgot about this.
Until right when I was like, yeah, right. Oh, wait.
It felt damp. Blood was trickling from the scratched skin.
And Sashin's like, my festivities are back on!
Oh, I see. Sakie. I had refused Sakie's love, and so her protection had also disappeared.
Why? St. Yune is immortal, loved by God. We shouldn't be able to hurt him. He was just conning us after all! Get him!
As I considered the situation, the people in the sanctuary district began to lose control. One after another, they threw stones at me.
Shh! This isn't enough! Shame on you, you monster!
The man had punched me hard in the face and I fell to the ground. The others were immediately upon me.
Like, this part, I feel more about than I do about the whole love part. Because this is, like, just tragic and awful, like... But at the same time, it's bittersweet, because, like, nobody can ever touch me, but now the stone's protection is gone, and people can touch you, but they're beating the shit out of you, and it's like, you're already in a bad place, like, you know, you're like, oh, I kind of feel for him here. Like, the whole love part just feels bullshit to me, but, like, the rest of his story I feel for, you know, but...
Some of them punched me, others kicked me. They attacked me from all directions, letting out their anger and frustration on me. This is my punishment. I need to accept it. I can't avoid it. I have to forgive them. I can't hate them. I have to bear it. I have to bear it. I have to bear it. My body accepted the pain, but not death.
And that would suck even more. You're like, oh good, I just want to die. And then you're like, they tortured me but I'm still not dead. Well, that sucks.
Why? Sakie, I want to die. Is this still not enough? Give me peace. Make it stop. I was powerless, but my mind didn't fade, even in the midst of their relentless, hateful attacks.
Notice Sashin is doing jack shit. Look, he looks happy. He's like, yeah, I wanted to torture him, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to die. And, like, watching them, it's like he's getting off just vicariously through the... He's such a son of a bitch. I kind of love him. Anyway.
To the crowd, I saw Sashin standing by without stopping the violence. He was smiling faintly.
This is how he gets his jollies. If he can't torture you, he's gonna, like, live vicariously through the crowd. Are you there, Glissade?
Yes? What is... Oh my! Isn't that...
I forgot his voice, but it was weird. The saint. Or not anymore, perhaps. This is Yune, your new toy.
That doesn't sound nice. You have to call them criminals.
Huh. Doesn't matter.
Perhaps not to you. He is rather injured. Poor Saint Yune.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what the voice I gave him. It was goofy as shit, but...
With that, the man called Glissade lifted me onto the medical table. These injuries... A normal human would certainly have died from this. Glissade looked at me without pity.
I just read it in Yune. Oh, that's weird. Anyway.
Glissade looked at me with pity again and began to shackle me to the table. You're a valuable research subject, but I wanted you uninjured.
I feel like his voice is the same as you. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. I don't remember the voice we gave him, and I can't get there. I don't know. It's just... Look, it is what it is, okay? This is the second time I'm doing this. And it's been, like, forever.
I didn't expect to hear that. Forgot what I had wanted to say.
You should have stipulated that. I don't see the issue. I still don't see the issue. He's an abomination. He's not going to die. He's like, I didn't want him injured. You didn't tell me that, and you know I get my jollies watching people get abused. Like, you're lucky I didn't put him in a cage and whip him. Oh, Sashin. Save that for me. Look, if Sashin did it, I'd be okay with it, because I know what I'm signing up for. Anyway.
Yes, I suppose not. You're right. Glissade waited until Sashin had left and touched my hair. I'm conducting research into rebirth. As you can imagine, I've long been interested in your body.
Glissade's so fucked up.
He ran his finger down my cheek, down my throat, and rested it on my chest. You're an important research subject, and I intend to spend a long time with you. He drew away and reached for an array of syringes. I wonder if someone immortal has different blood from ordinary human beings. This is so exciting. The thick needle pierced my skin without mercy to draw out my blood. 1 needle, 2, 3. My punishment didn't end. Sasha had called me a toy, and now that seems so very fitting. Even if they assault me or draw out all my blood, I can't die. I can't do anything lying here like this. Will it be easier if I give up? I had stopped seeing Sakie in my dreams, but I was still alive. When was the pain going to end? I gave up on dying. I gave up on becoming human again. I've become so weak, but there's one thing I haven't given up on. Spacey, I've never given up on you. I wondered whether she was somewhere on the surface as well. Whether she was alive. I hope she wasn't having a hard time.
It's kind of funny that this is the good ending, by the way, which I think this is why I'm sad about having lost my recordings, because I think my reaction to this was like, this is the fucking good ending? The fuck kind of bullshit is this? But like, obviously we're not done yet, so.
The pain is so much worse than the abuse. The pain in my body and in my heart. Everything hurt. I was in agony, but I couldn't die.
We're gonna have to leave a cliffhanger, because like, this is just, it keeps going.
I wasn't allowed to die. I don't care what happens to me. They can have my blood, my flesh, whatever they want. Just someone, please save her.
We've been stabbed.
Save Spacey.
Actually, this seems like the perfect place to end it, because it's just darkness. It's the perfect place to end it. Because that is literally the end. And now we get the little epilogue. So, I'm going to leave you hanging, and we'll do the epilogue in the next part. I know it's probably not going to be, it's going to be a short part, but I also can't record even another like 10 or 15 minutes. I got to go. So there you go. That's like the, I was like, when I got to that the first time, I was like, that's like the worst good ending ever. What the fuck is this bullshit? Did I do something wrong? And then I clicked and we got the little epilogue part, and I was like, okay, this makes a little more sense. So we will see this epilogue to the ending, which is like the actual ending of the ending, in the next part. So it might be a short part. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll figure it out. So anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.